And we're back, baby. We are back. I'm Dan Watson. That's Pudding.
And I'm Paul Floggett. Welcome to the dirt.
He's stroking his pussy in front of me. I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel like a Bond villain.
Pudding making his appearance, his weekly appearance as such, episode appearance. Look, we got a special one today. It is a World Championships review episode. We've got a couple of different guests for you from the preview episode, and we'd like to invite them all in. We're going to take maybe a little bit of time, maybe an hour and a half or so, just to chat through exactly what happened in France. There is a thing that says what stays on holiday, what goes on holiday stays on holiday. But hopefully we can share a few little nuggets from there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the chat. Mark Bishop, Walter Kurrle, Arno VDV. I'm not going to get involved. And I should have mispronounced that one, shouldn't I, in classic style?
Probably.
Thank you all for joining us. Arno, you having some issues? Give me a moment and I shall have a look there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we heard you then.
Hey guys, I've got one technical issue we logged in and I've lost all sound again on my headphones, so it's going to be like this.
Okay. Well, Arno joining us from a climbing wall. So if you're listening via audio and you suddenly hear
Yeah.
It may go silent at Arno's end there for a little while. But yeah, welcome. And he's catching up to
I'm going to move away from the climbing wall a bit more. Maybe I can do that better, but
yeah. Mark and Walter,
it's just
in room.
My volume's on max and I don't hear anything what you're saying, which is
that'd be unfortunate for us, Arno.
All right, let's try it this time. Hiya.
Can you hear?
Hey.
Hear me now.
Back on me. Great. So the headphones are working. What the hell? There we are.
There we go.
Don't mess with technology, man. Don't mess with technology.
I love analog.
But yeah, we was just saying that Walter and Mark are sitting in the same room there.
Yeah.
We're secret lovers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That either means Walter's still in the UK or Bish has done a quick flight back with him to Germany.
We are sitting in Germany.
Yeah. He's drinking on that Weiss beer.
Yeah, we are all, in terms of a timeline, this will go out as quickly as possible because I haven't got anything in the chamber as such at the moment. But we've all just returned from the UK champs, but we are not here to talk about the UK champs as such. We will hopefully have its own separate review episode in a week or so's time. However, we are here to talk about the World Championships that just took place a couple of weeks ago in two separate areas and resorts in France, the first of which being in Compiègne, in just about an hour north of Paris, and that was the border and freestyle. The second event was held in Superbest in the Auvergne region of France, in the middle of France, in a volcanic sort of area of France where there's lots of mounds and lumps and bumps that look quite unnatural in places, but a fantastic resort that's utilised by probably more of a local French contingent in the winter, close to some of the mega resorts that are international. However, held over.
I challenge you.
Say an interview. All right, yeah, sorry. I've got a mate who was just like, yeah, I'm going to join you. Like,
And Compiègne is on its own is a mass of things to unpack there. Starting in the afternoon with the pro freestyle qualification, I believe, was the first thing on the Wednesday afternoon. Now, me and Slogs weren't actually present for that. We were en route, probably somewhere on the English Channel at that point. We were slightly delayed. So I'm hoping, I mean, I do have the qualification results to hand, should we need, but I'm assuming that you gents all rode in that qualification there.
Definitely rode, but I don't remember a lot of it.
No cheeky concussions then.
No, it was all fun.
No, I don't think so. But I won't remember anyway.
Present,
Yeah, exactly.
maybe not meant. But yeah, so that was the first there. Then riders were all qualifying, vying for position in that top pro freestyle jam format in the end.
That was top 10 went into the pro, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. The format being that those top 10 riders would stay in their own separate category, compete for the podium as such. But the riders that didn't make that podium would then fall back down into their age appropriate category under this new, well, it's not new, it's been running a couple of years now, the pro category, rather than opting in like back in the day or being signed in. Now you qualify into that. So I let me just draw up the pro qualifying for the freestyle there.
While you're looking at that, I think
I didn't.
The round out 10 were Matt Brind, Eamon Shaw, Emlyn Bainbridge, Nicky Gears, James Wanklin, David Yonsa, Cody Stewart, Andy Brind, Mail. I know how to say his first name. I don't know how to say his second name. Mael Badoin. Axel
Baudouin. Baudouin.
One. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you. It's from the start on that.
I didn't know he had a second name. I thought it was just Mael.
Just
Like Madonna.
Mail. But yeah, so that was your pro qualifiers there.
Dan, have you got the list of the full qualifications there? Have you? Who just missed out? Who are the next 2 or 3 riders who just missed out on top 10?
So there you go.
Not me.
Our man Arno here. They both missed out. Ash missed out by 3 points and Arno by 4 to just scrape in there. And here there, Mark Bishop, who missed out by about 22 points there.
That sounds about right.
But yeah, tight at the top there. There's a little pinch point around there in the mid-50s on the points to get in there. There was a little bit of sort of discussion about that top line and the North Shore, potentially rightly so, adding on extra points. So I think if you're going to be riding in the pro category, you've got to be riding the full course, haven't you? I think we give a little.
North Shore was fucking gnarly.
Sorry,
that North Shore was gnarly. James said to me, he's like, "Yeah, just give it a go. It doesn't have much speed extra." It was horrendous.
Fly landing.
It was fine. It was fine.
Was it? Fuck.
I should have gone for pro qualifying, shouldn't I? If only I would have made it there.
That would have been awesome.
There by the end of my campaign, I got to be said. But you say about that being gnarly. I mean, the whole thing was gnarly. The jumps there, the main line were massive. I don't know the exact. Andy, I know any idea how big the gaps were there? You guys are used to judging large scale gaps. A bit more.
The first big the gap wasn't that big, but it was just such an impressive, it was really, really intimidating to run up to it. And then the landing was huge afterwards. it would give you a huge airtime, but I would say the gap wouldn't be more than 4 or 5 meters. And then the second table is going to be 6, maybe something like that. I think it's even shorter, but everything was just so boosty. Like it would send you up so high. You would have so much airtime if you really popped it. So yeah, it definitely wasn't the biggest tabletops we've had for the World Championships, but it was, in my opinion, it was definitely the first kick. It was the best one.
Yeah.
It's so you go so fast into it, but if you stack, if you fall, the landing is pretty safe. Like it doesn't hurt that much as it should, because you're super scared of it until you fall on it the first time. You're like, hey, well, oh, okay, that was actually surprisingly soft. Don't want to catch an edge, but don't want to do that on any landing.
No one wants to fall, yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, I took a couple sliders out on that, and it was definitely better than I expected. I've experienced worse.
Yeah, I got to admit the running certainly felt quite quick into it, but the shape of that,
Yeah,
and the, you know, it was like taking off on a motorway sort of thing.
yeah.
It did feel really nice once you've ridden it a couple of times. I got to admit, even I managed to, and I am no big freestyler, but even I find place for
You
it.
managed quite all right.
Well, yeah, I had a good session there.
I think it was also the width of the kicker itself that made it extra intimidating. So you hit it like you're dropping into this huge bomb hole. That's how it feels. And then the moment you approach the kicker, that's when it flattens out a little bit and you realize like, oh, damn, this thing is huge. And then the width is adding more to the impression of it being huge. So it was very intimidating, especially at the beginning. But once you got the hang of it, it was so nice. Kind of miss it. I want to go back.
How was it for throwing, you know, spins or inverts and things like that? You know, once you're getting used to the kicker itself. Was the first kicker or the second kicker the more favourable for, you know, trying to land a bigger trick for you guys?
I was just so I preferred flipping the first, but I only did front flips, and then when I did try and spin it, I fell again. And then when I tried to front flip the second, I fell over, but I could spin that. So there you are.
I found it very, very solid for spins on the first one. But I didn't do anything more than a 360 because yeah, I still had to find my freestyle legs during the competition. So I was really I find it I prefer doing a 360 on the big one because it feels just so huge and so lofty, and a backflip is eventually a backflip stays a backflip on any jump, in my opinion. So it's a safety jump for me. 360s are scary, yeah. I think the second one was better for flips. Yeah. Or for like at least inverts, let's put it that way, like corks and all that stuff, because it was nice and lippy and would shoot you higher up. I don't know. I think it's also a matter of personal taste.
See, I that's the first time I've really done anything as big as that. But in practice, I don't know if I did it in the comp or not, but doing threes, I felt like I was throwing it as hard as I should do, but the rotation was so slow. And it was like very hit or miss whether I was going to land it or not. Even doing the front, I did a front one on it, and I was like, "Why am I not turning?" And just it was really kind of weird. Enjoyed it though.
So, moving on, obviously we're going to rattle through it a bit, and we're at risk of talking about the actual, you know, the dam itself. Later on that afternoon, there was did you guys do a mass descent or something like that before what happened after the freestyle? Because we're working towards the 4 down where we guys come in.
Yeah.
Was it a mass?
On the freestyle, we didn't do that, but I think we did a mass descent on the border cross to start off the. That was
fun.
super. That was funny. Like right before everybody dropped in, it's like, hey, wait, where's everybody gonna go? It's like, I don't care. Let's go.
Will you like shoot at the end?
Yeah.
How did you all get into it? Were you all? I can't understand because you wouldn't have all fit on the starting gate. Where did you all start from?
First roller, wasn't it? The first.
Yeah.
First table.
Yeah.
Got you.
Shitloads of people squashed on it.
Been involved. It takes me back to days of doing mass descents down at Priory down through the Orchard Run have like 20 or 30 kids and all the lard ass crew would come and just charge it. I'm sure that Clive Galway's got some video of it up, some really shitty quality video from back in the day of it.
Like that on a fucking dirt surfer.
Like what? Like that?
Yeah, like that.
That's what it looked like, didn't it? Wasn't he holding two cameras? Okay, maybe we should cut that one out.
We'll leave it into any of the audio listeners have to go back and watch the YouTube version.
Yeah, let's stay it in. And that's being the thumbnail.
Yeah.
All right, I'll behave.
Right, so
This is about to encourage us all to do the same maneuver at the same time for the thumbnail. 3 gents, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. We had the mass descent. That's probably as much fun as I'm having right about now as well. And then we move on to the 4 down because it was pretty special, and I was stressing like fuck to get there. I tell you, we'd got delayed on the ferry, and we was driving as quick as I could. We had an issue with the GPS, and them set of bastards just decided to get straight on it on the ferry, and were an absolute the time we made.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
I'll tell you what, though, seeing mountain boarding on a big screen like that was phenomenal.
Yeah, we made it with seconds to spare to be faced, with what 20 mountain boarding 20 foot high and 60 foot wide, with all the worldwide community in one room, with popcorn and drinks, just chilling out, waiting to watch. And no word of a lie, did I ever feel the love when we walked in to just everybody going, yay! And it kicked off. Brindy opened up with his little, 4 down speed, and then went into the 2 entries there from Brandon Good from the USA with his, I wanted to call it breakout then.
That's the rest.
Yeah,
very much. And Emlyn and Adam Conacher's offering for the mountain board gods as well with Dreamline. Both absolutely epic, and if you haven't seen them already, go check them out already. Go check them out now. Don't wait until the end of this podcast and then
Yes, please.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty special time that was.
Yeah, it was incredible, absolutely incredible. I was welcomed straight in with a hug off Arno right there. It was fantastic. Well done for putting that on there. The organisers of the Compiègne, whole event there were just phenomenal. But to get that happening was just crazy. I mean, I personally haven't done. That's my first international worlds there, as it is for Slogs and Mark Bishop. Walter, have you done the worlds before?
Yes. First time in France 2017, and then every worlds. So yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But so is this the big screen like that, has that been done before, or how does it work normally?
Have they done the cinema bit?
No, this is similar. No, I know one time in Serbia with in a bar with a screen, with a white screen, and then with a beamer, and then
like a projector.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah, that was fun also. Yeah.
It's not a bar only for the mountain boarder. There was people for
everyone else.
Yeah.
You will enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually we do a rider's dinner, and then it's also, like I say, on a projector screen at the rider's dinner as well. So it's
Yeah.
So it's a massive step up then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I was a bit worried about like how we would all behave, but I think I was probably the one who was behaving the worst, and I've been a good boy. That was good.
If it's only ever been held in bars before, and we go to a cinema, I'm assuming that they weren't serving beers in the cinema.
They were.
Oh yeah, they were.
Oh, they were.
They were.
Yeah. Oh man, hats off for putting together. That was a real treat, and I felt so lucky to make it finally, and be sharing popcorn with a severe dry mouth myself.
Sorry.
we got in there, but yeah, and then it was all back to Compiègne. We were faced with the place in the dark and just rocked up, and the very next morning we were faced with the park for the first time for me and Slogs and Steve and Claire, who was with us. Now I think we went straight into some riding there that day, did we not? There was board across. That would be the Thursday, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So Thursday was what?
Yeah, Thursday's cross qualifying.
Yeah, exactly.
I had an absolute shit show myself. Fell out the gates, mate. Thankfully I was all right, but I dashed my phone and I forget knows. I don't know what happened. I just.
Why were you riding with your phone?
Myself.
Yeah.
But happens to the best of us at the worst of times.
Sort of.
Guys, I know you had a good qualifying there, Andy. You had a good qualifying. Well, I think everybody else here had a good qualifying. No?
Well,
I think not.
I've practically relearned to mountain board during qualifying, so every run was gradually getting better than the other ones. But I remember the first one I had to use my scare tactics, so I went completely all over the place, and everybody stayed far behind. Let me win. I just scared everyone, including myself. I don't think I've ridden that sketchy in ever down a course. That was sketchy and loose. That was super sketch.
How did your qualification campaign go,
Who?
Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, me? Well, I can't remember where I ended up qualifying. I think between third and fifth somewhere. I can't exactly remember.
Don't worry, I'll get to you in just a minute.
Where's Matt when we need him?
I know, right?
Well,
Qualified third, Andy. There.
I think qualified third. I thought so.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say third and then be wrong and be like fifth, because then I'd sound like an asshole.
Yeah, you qualified third. Bish in 11th there. Arno in 12th, and working the way down there.
Subtle jabs.
112.
Yeah, I can't see any of us there. Only goes up to that'd be the pro. Maybe that's the pro qualifying. Oh, pardon, that's why.
have you not checked this out beforehand to make sure you had the right paperwork down?
No. Every time I've got to log back out and it's Google shit.
Look, what have you done? What have you done?
You look good.
Coming on down, we have myself, I think, was next. qualifying in 32nd.
Nice.
And then looking down further, I see your brother there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He qualified 44th. 44th, so up above myself there. Walter, you came in 65th. Slog 63. Yeah, that's us guys here. I'm not going to completely blow it out there. So maybe not quite the most successful campaign for all of us with the exception of you. But hey ho. I've really enjoyed myself though, that's for sure. It's my first time at Compiègne, and that is one hell of a track. Like, despite my disagreement with it, I really like that starting ramp.
I love that Wu-Tang at the start.
Yeah, it's straight out of a snowball board across that. And so wicked.
And I noticed when we went LA afterwards, they had one there as well. So that might be a French thing. Has the Bordeaux one got a Wu-Tang?
Well, Slovenia's got the same. It's also a drop off starting gate.
It.
Yeah, me too.
Push out.
I don't think Slovenia is. You guys are just like swinging yourselves out of it and doing 180s. It just goes down into rollers.
Oh yeah, maybe that. I didn't do it at this actually. Normally that's my thing at the gate. But yeah, whatever. No, I think Slovenia is like the start gate itself is a drop down. It was something with a drop down on the start gate in Slovenia.
I have a good picture. I fall at the start because it was a drop. It was my second competition, and I never go out of this gate. And so, okay, you go there. So, fuck, and I fall down.
And the features in the first straight before you got to any berms, they were huge as well.
Big block paved driveway patio. Like,
that's cracking. I fucking love that.
Yeah, that was super fun. Like, if you're solid, they're fun. If you're not, they are the scariest thing in the world. So I think I shot myself like for the first 10 runs. But yeah, they are super.
A good injection of speed though. That's solid pair.
That's what we need at Bugs.
Well, yeah, kind of. It's food for thought, isn't it? That's the slowest part of the race is always getting up to speed. It's way out of any gate that we can figure out and get that speed and momentum going. It's only going to benefit the racing. But yeah, so border cross qualifying, and then that would have been the Friday, did we say? No, sorry, the Thursday. Friday was the racing.
Cross final?
Yeah.
Cross racing there. Now I have already got them results up, gentlemen. I don't have to get here this time and start scrolling. But how did you all let's whip round and see if we can find each other's I'll find the results, and then you can give us your little run through of your route to that position.
I'm gonna sit in the light a little bit more for you guys.
For everybody to know, the pro finals was finished up with Matt Brind, Cody Stewart, James Wanklin, and Eamon Shaw. Arno, well, those would have. Arno, you finished there in 11th place. Andy Brind in 9th. Arno, we'll go with you first. How did your day racing go? Because you'd have been in the pro, and not making it into the pro final, you would have gone out in the quarterfinals there potentially.
Yeah,
quarterfinals of that pro, and then down into your age, which would have been the Masters. So, how did that quarterfinal go when you got knocked out?
In a way, I did it deliberately because I was too scared to race the other guys. No, I was to be honest, I came to the Worlds just to see you guys and just hang out with everybody and get back on my board. And I was like, I'll enter the event and we'll see. Just have some fun. But there was no way I wanted to race or like compete in the pro at any stage of my competition there. But that being said, who did I race in the quarters? Because, oh yeah, it was also against Dominic.
Yeah, hell of a ride.
That was, yeah, he's a super strong rider. He's the guy that you need to watch out for. Definitely.
Definitely.
He's a proper tread, and also he's got a very crazy headspace where he's at right now. Like he's changed a lot, and he's very strong mentally as well. But I remember doing something in the race where we were battling, and I sort of almost took him out. I hate that first berm at the course. I always do something wrong there. But I remember like saying like, "Oh, dude, like, go. You can have it. This is yours." Because I felt really bad. Oh yeah, I remember I was trying to overtake him on the inside, and I pushed him almost off the track. And I was like, I sort of stopped and said like, "Dude, go. Like, my bad. This was totally my doing." So, in my opinion, I've lost the race already, so go. So that's when I let him go. And when I realized, like, yeah, that's the pro finals gone for you, which sort of made me happy. Because I was super scared of racing everybody who was good on his board. Everybody looked so solid. Also, I was scared of Dominic as well. And I remember, like, I've been having, like, a really good gate time on everything. Like, I think climbing made my gate pulls a lot stronger. So I remember going out, being in front, and then sort of pushing me off the track. Yeah, so it felt just more than normal or like sportive to say like, "Hey, well, my bad, you can have it." I don't know.
No, I completely get. There's a very for want of a better term, we care about each other as friends. So,
Yeah.
There's sort of that sportsmanship, whatever you want to call it, that, a fairness. Nobody wants to succeeding through unfair advantage,
Yeah, that as well. And I always said, like, at pretty much every race, I shouted at the guys like, "Hey, please communicate. If like you're overtaking me, do it. Just talk, communicate during the race, and never forget, it's only a t-shirt that you can win. So fuck it. Let's have fun."
Truth. But that would have, when you'd have come out of there, that would have then put you back into the Masters at probably the semi-final point.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think
those were scary.
By then, also, exactly. Yeah. Bish, you also would have been knocked out in the quarters there, also of the podium there, and back into the Masters.
Yeah,
Arno at the same stage.
Yeah, I think my next race was my next race with Arno, or was that my last race? I can't remember. No, it was. I think the last race was with you, wasn't it? Like, we were in the final.
Yeah.
Because Alex didn't know he was in the finals, did he?
Right. Yeah. So finals is like, oh, finals.
We'd already had our finals.
The final of Masters was you pair, Alex Lampter and Scully, Mark Sullivan.
Yeah.
Alex didn't know he was in the finals until he was just about to put it. I was like, "That's all. We should all have a photo." So we had a nice photo together, and we all got into the gates. And then Alex goes, "What race?" And like, "The finals." It's like, "Finals?"
Yeah. God bless him. He's so nice.
He's awesome. Real nice guy.
Hell of a rider, yeah. Absolute, mayhem on the slope. How did that final run out for you? I mean, I know the results were, Arno, you finished in first with Alex in second. Mark in third, Bishop, that is, and Scully in fourth there in that final. Was there any overtaking, or was it a procession run for you?
It was actually sort of the same idea as I had with Dominic. So Alex on that first berm as well, he tried to take the inside. I was out of the gates first. And I think I pumped a bit harder because I looked back right before the last tabletop roller thingy before the berm, and he was behind me. But as I'm a goofy rider and it's a left-hander, I swerved a bit out, and Alex I opened up the door because I swerve out and then cut across, and he tried to come on the inside but couldn't hold his line, so he was almost pushing me off the track. And for some people, it looked like he was trying to hold me back with his arm, but he was basically just holding me up. He was like, dude, sorry. And I was like, hey, man, super cool. Thanks. Let's race. Let's have some fun. And then I started pumping as an idiot. And yeah, I think I pulled out like one board length or half a board length before the second berm. And after that, it's pretty decided already. So that was cool. That was super fun. It only dawned on me, I think, maybe 10 minutes after the race. That it's like, oh, shit, I won this. Yeah, it's like, oh, this was final. But yeah, that was one of the funnest races I've had in a long time, especially because, yeah, it was fair. It was sportive. Like, he showed some true sportsmanship. It was just how it should be. That's how you should race. Like, we don't do it for money. So,
and Bish putting a third in your first ever Wales border cross.
I was fucking stoked.
You were stoked.
Man.
We were all fucking stoked for you, mate. Delighted.
It was just a good couple of days for me. Yeah, shame I couldn't pull that out of bugs at the weekend.
All right there.
I tell you what, we rode the track at Compiègne last year at the French champs, and it's just such a nice track. You can not pump anything and make it down beautifully, or you can pump like fuck and get all the speed in the world. I just feel comfortable in that track. It's amazing.
Definitely. I still hate the first berm. But
I like it. I like that inside line.
Yeah, but you're not. Are you goofy or regular?
No, reg. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very, very. It's a very regular one. For goofies, it's so hard to keep your line. You can't crouch down, so you just drift out. But yeah.
Walter, you unfortunately didn't have quite as a successful run there, finishing down 31st, but I'm assuming that you were having a lot of fun regardless.
I had a lot of fun. The important thing on mountain board is stay healthy and not in the hospital. I learned it in Slovenia 2018. And if I have fun and not in the hospital, then all fine. I'm the winner.
Yeah.
Brother, that is the truth. That's why I never leave home without butt pads. Not even
Sorry, without what?
without my butt pads.
Okay, I understand. I understood something else.
I don't leave home plugs either.
Of course, young. You have to keep clenching those cheeks. Like, that's how you support your back, right?
Yeah, it's how I make. Andy. Well, before we get to Andy, there, worth mentioning the other categories here. Ladies was Susie finished in first. Manu Hidad,
Right, Manu Kidat.
and Margot Roland and Sarah Watson there, the ladies, and in the junior top No Favre, who
Wait. I can't hear you, Dad, because all I can hear is Arno's background.
Oh, is it my fault? Yeah, I'll move away from like everybody talking here. It's just yeah.
Just tell him all to shut up.
Can't really. But can you put me on mute for like for a couple seconds so I'll run inside, grab my car keys, and I'll see.
boom, you're muted. See.
Nice.
No
I
Favre
heard the juniors and didn't hear any more.
juniors. The top four there, the final four, were No Favreau, Gabriel Taubois, Bayard Alex, and Cheval. Those are the top four. I've murdered your names. I apologies.
His name's actually Lenny. Lenny's first name.
So, Andy, obviously, you left. Whereabouts did you leave the
Finals.
quarterfinals?
Yeah.
But you did all right, though. Even so,
Yeah.
kicked off your campaign fairly strongly there. How did you happen to come out of your? There? Can you remember your last race there?
Yeah, so I was with David, Will Fox, and a Coney. I pulled out and went as hard as possible, even though I didn't really need to looking back, but I didn't know where Will was behind me. So I just went full power. David was just a fraction behind me to my right. And then over the nipple, I went sketchy, which meant I went off the table after that, sketchy, and slid out on the landing. David slid out to not hit me so hard, thankfully. Will Fox managed to get a miracle dodge, God knows how, on the rewind. And yeah, David was up like a bullet. I didn't even notice he got up. I was looking back to see if a Cody was about to crash into me because that hurt. And sadly, he had he'd got a bit sketchy on the table anyway, but he saw us on the floor and he sort of ejected himself. So he went down as well and cut all his knees up, which I felt bad about. So as I was getting up, I checked he was all right before I tic-tacked off. But yeah, David was already gone. And Will was already gone as well. So no. Crashed out of my own accord.
I have seen some footage of that when we was over there, and my goodness, you went literally from that inside line to the outside of the tabletop. It's like, whoosh!
Yeah.
Exit stage left.
Yeah. But that would have put you back then down into the open category where you made finals there, didn't you?
Yeah, eventually. I did about 3 more races to get to the finals. It was quite a long day.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Evelyn, David, and Dominic, which was a carnage race.
Heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good in the first quarter. I tried to do what I did to Matt on everyone and cut and take an inside line, which kind of worked. But then they had the overspeed and pumped away. They're all next to each other on the second straight. And then Evelyn pulled back a little bit because he also thought they were going to crash. But David and Dominic went into berm 2 together and somehow stayed alive.
Yeah.
Me and Evelyn were just waiting for them to crash and just poach. But they didn't. They stayed up. So, yeah, 4th in that. But, hey, is what it is. Still pleased with 4th, don't get me wrong. 4th in the Open's great.
Yeah.
But,
happy days riding for you. 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
A full day.
I had a couple more injuries to my body along the way.
Yeah. Hopefully, no. Was that because I remember on the freestyle. We'll get to that. That's tomorrow. But was that the start of a couple of injuries? You say there?
No, it was the freestyle practice. What was that? Sorry, Slogs?
You say, how long's this podcast? We're going through till tomorrow.
I know, yeah.
How long have we been on? Oh, crikey, we're on an hour already.
Yeah, we're already on the second day as well. It's great. Second day of 6.
Yeah. Sweet.
Third day. Sorry. Yeah, no, I already started hurting myself in the freestyle practice and qualifying. Yeah. But it didn't really affect my racing at that point. I wasn't that sore at that point. It was the practice for the freestyle finals where I then hurt myself more.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to there then, because we have gone through everybody's here there, and rounded out the final 4 of all the categories. for the border cross. Moving on to the next day was the Saturday, and that was the freestyle finals. Yeah, hell of a show put on by everybody. I rode my little socks off. I was well happy. Yeah. But you guys, Arno, again, you had another good day there. You rode in the pro?
No,
no, you just rode in the Masters. Of course,
I rode in the Masters. Yeah.
So over to that now.
Also a deliberate choice. Well, not deliberate choice. It's just that. Well, I wasn't. I definitely wasn't up for riding a pro event, and I didn't want to injure myself for the rest of the summer. I've actually been dealing with quite a lot of back issues, so freestyle was for me already like not the main goal.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to ride a little bit, have some fun.
Andy, you did compete in the pro category there. Just scraping in there number 9 on that.
Yeah.
You, as you said, I remember seeing you partway through that jam, and you know your helmet had come off, hadn't it? Or did you'd cracked your helmet or something?
Yeah. So in the practice between all the other jams and the pro jam, the last run of practice, I front three'd the middle one and smacked my head into the floor again, the third time this trip. Surprisingly, no concussion. Impressive. And yeah, that cracked the foam in my helmet. And then, yeah, just before the freestyle finals, I was just like, oh, that also ripped open a lot of wounds that had just started healing. So they were already sore again. So I did the one run I had dialed in, and then just did a straight airs run and called it after my second run because headaches, sore, all the rest. Got downhill to try and do. And I thought another head hit, I would be concussed. I got away with 3. Normally I don't get that.
It was the right choice. You were looking a little bit ropey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every time I got comfortable again on the jumps and started going, right, let's do some other tricks, I just hit the floor again. So, yeah, it's a bit of a blow, that one. I wanted to do a lot more on the jumps, but didn't go that way this year.
Your brother kicked off his campaign in style there, taking home the win in the pro. But yeah, so in the Masters, that was Cody took home first place there, for having fallen down from that pro category into the Masters. The same for Mayel. Alex, again, the beast from South America, took home the remaining place on the podium there in third. Arno just unfortunately not quite making the podium there in that one in fourth. And yeah, I scraped in 7th there. Bish, where were you? There you go, in 5th. There you go. Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna get into this this discussion later on, or you want to have it now about like the whole pro category thing that is weird.
No, I was just going to leave it as that Matt won it.
No, the Masters dropping out the pro final.
Yeah.
In the Masters.
Yeah.
And
well, it's not about. Well, it's also about the Masters, but it's also about the Open.
Everyone.
The ability.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. The ability to podium. I mean.
Yeah.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because with the border cross right up until that point, assuming that there aren't 4 finalists or 4 masters, both all knocked out in the semi-finals of the pro class, that would be the only situation where you wouldn't be able to make the top 4 in the masters.
Yeah.
No, not in the racing. Slightly different. So in the racing, they don't run the races until there's enough people, essentially. So if 4 masters went out in the semi-finals, there's still masters in the masters bracket to race against those 4.
Yeah.
So then the 4 Masters in the semi-finals in the Pro could still go out in whatever round they're in the Masters and not make the finals in the Masters.
Right, I see what you're saying. So with the freestyle, because they've competed, will be competing in the Pro class, and the age category class is based on the qualifying are run beforehand.
Yes. So essentially, take the Open, for example. The Open podium was all in the Pro finals, which is where Arno's argument comes in of, well, what's kind of the point in the Open having a jam? Because they're just fighting for, say, 5th downwards.
Yeah, exactly. With my point is that, like, in racing, the moment you reach to the finals, you can't drop down back into your own category. But in freestyle, we had the finals and everybody was just riding for, different categories as they were doing the finals in Pro, which wasn't very clearly communicated. Also, I don't think it was that communicated that it was like that, but I'm not very good at paying attention at riders' meetings.
That knows is he didn't put the word out before the event very well, so a lot of people came in not knowing that was going to be happening, and then they didn't have time to digest, ask questions, and figure out exactly what the situation was.
I think this was
understood it. I still don't fully understand it. I just smile and nod.
No, I think this was just a lesson. Like, it was a learning experience. So I think we should consider having this for the freestyle. Like, the moment you get to a Pro final, you're going to be competing as a pro and not as your respective category that you were before. And that's, in my opinion, that's how it should run. And that seems fair. And I do think there's a lot of sports who are using the same idea. It's like with mountain biking as well. Like, the moment you're competing in FMB Diamond, it's not that you're gonna, if you don't get on the podium, you're not gonna get awarded in an FMB Gold event for those points. So I find it a very difficult one, and I felt really bad because in the Open there were guys who were really ripping on the finals and they didn't even get there. And also, in my opinion, Alex was a beast in the Masters. Definitely. Like, sketchiest backflips I've ever seen, scariest in a long time. But the guy pulled through, man. I don't even remember how many varieties that he laid down, but he laid down a lot of tricks. And guys, he's like 7 years older than me, which is crazy.
I think with everything, it's just down to a little bit of communication there and knowing it. So, Andy, you were about to say something there.
Yeah, I mean, I was only going to say with Alex, for example, he could have got if he had done that in, say, practice qualifying for the Pro, he would have got in the Pro finals if he was good enough. But I can't remember what he did in the qualifying. So, although he did that in the Masters finals, Cody essentially outscored him in the qualify. It's hard, it's a weird one. I appreciate it.
Like, how could he outscore him? Because Cody was at like a 50 something, I don't know, and Alex was in a 70. Like, it's on the scores on the site. That's why I'm like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, but you got to remember the scores are relative to the jam they're judging. So the Pro final jam, you're going to see a lot more difficult tricks. So the harder tricks, say Cody's front 3 1-footers, score less in the Pro category than they would do in the Masters category, because you're not going to get Masters doing, say, 720 to 720 or whatever.
He is a master.
Cody is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
but like, the whole thing is, like, you get awarded points, and then if you look at the scoreboard right now, like, the people who are on the top podium have less points than the people who are below them, which is odd.
But like I say, it's because you're scoring relative to the people in that jam and what you expect the skill level to be. So if I don't know.
Yeah,
Not-
well, but that's where the discrepancy is at. Like you're doing
So,
a
for
yeah,
example,
sorry.
Gies didn't score any points for the
No.
pro freestyle jam, but finished in 4th, where Antoine was the next rider down and scored a points of 150, and finished 5th, regardless of points scored in that jam. So
Exactly.
saying, but that, as Andy says, those points there are relative to that jam, and the fact that I suppose it's maybe just making everybody aware in future if this is how it continues to run, with that more emphasis is put on a bit of qualifying. If you want those top spots and if you want the top points, you've got to show your worth in qualifying as well as in your final jam. But again, I completely see what you're saying about making that clear before the event so that people know how the system works. Because I mean, as we'll come on to the downhill in a minute, there was also the whole thought about bringing a knife to a gunfight with the brakes and stuff like that, and not having the different classifications there. So there's always there's bits to look at on all of that. But yeah, I think certainly for future, it's just a case of learning these things and making it accessible for people to be able to look at the rulings, for example, whether that be I don't know, I'm saying maybe things like judging criteria, or how the pro system works, or if there's a separate classification for brakes, or having anything for the riders to be able to judge it, like having a POV run of the tracks for downhill and stuff like that, so we can judge what board to bring at the right time and that sort of thing. But we are only a small community. We are only competing for t-shirts, and we got to remember that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we will always have hiccups and little bits of things to analyze and ways to work on the next product as such. So yeah, where were we?
I would say the main idea behind it, I think, from Matt's point of view, is in the UK, we'd get a lot of people that wouldn't go in the pro because they go, well, Matt, James, Eamon are there. I'm not going to win anything. I'd rather win my own category, which then means the pro becomes a desert because no one's in it. Whereas if you take out the qualifying, take out the option to be in the pro and just make it that the best riders are in the pro, then the pro becomes the stacked field it should be, and then the age categories filter out as they are.
Can we add another category? Can we add an elite? And then you top boys go in that, and then we'll have the rest.
Well, that's what the pro used to be, Mark. So you used to say, right, I want to be in the pro category. So you could go, no, I don't want to be in the pro because I'm not going to win the pro. I can win the Masters, though. Yeah. So then all of a sudden the pros don't really have anyone to compete against.
Okay.
So that's where the idea of it comes into it. And all right, with the freestyle, it becomes a bit more awkward because, yes, you qualify into the pro, but just like mountain biking, say, they qualify into the big finals for the big event. And if they get an injury, they still finish higher up than the people that didn't qualify into the finals.
Well, that's it. I suppose that the other option, the other thought might be that if you qualify for the pro class freestyle there, and you compete in that class, that you are then ineligible for the podium in your age class, but with a caveat in that your points towards the overall type
That's exactly how I feel about it.
That's a good idea.
Engorged. So, for example, if you get 100 for winning the Masters, you get 110 points for coming 10th in the Pro, 120 points for 9th, or do you know what I mean? But there's still some, I suppose, motivational silverware on offer for the appropriate jam for the actual. So you're judging that jam, and those prizes are going to that jam. I mean, there's no, like I say, there's no necessarily wrong or right way, and we're certainly not here to rewrite the rule books. But there's always definitely a few other ideas that could come into play. Moving on, gentlemen, if that's okay, looking at the time.
Yes, please.
That night, didn't we not?
The climbing gym is going to close in a minute, so I'm a bit Oh, I've got an hour still. No worries.
Sure.
It's just my stuff.
I mean,
no worries. And if they're closing, I'll just go grab my stuff and I'll be right back.
Lucky.
You didn't come to Downhill anyway, Arno, so you can't comment.
Well, we can tie
I've got
up.
2 of these. Look at
You
them.
watched us take the wrong turn and start going the wrong way in France.
Yeah, it was too. It looked awesome. Like, I want to hear from you guys because, like, I've sent some messages to Cody and all that, but I want to know, like, how was it? Like, how was the track? Like, it looked so fun.
It was incredible. There were a couple of people who got there in advance. Arno, Tillen left quite early from Compiègne. Pete Tatham had arrived a day early, or a day or two early, and I remember on the road trip there, Slogs and Steve screaming from the back something about having seen his social media post on Facebook about it being like dropping off the edge of the earth at the top of the hill.
Awesome.
Intimidating course he's ever ridden.
Yeah, we're
a cheese rolling hill.
Yeah, he's in everyone's fucking heads before they even got there.
Yeah.
He's not fucking daft, is he?
But yeah, so first day there, qualifying was done on the track was divided into a dogleg. Wait one moment. The track was divided into a dogleg. The first.
Okay.
It did not look like that.
Legit WNC Sonsi Champion du Monde.
It was definitely steeper than that.
And the horizontal was a lot longer to push.
And the first hill was a lot longer than that. I mean,
Sleep. The first part was set in it was in the red run that emptied out into the main area of the town of Superbès. It was serviced by a chairlift that would take us all up to an open red piste that had been probably freshly mown a week or two before, and they'd left all that glorious baked dry crispy grass on top that was just like
extra grip.
And it was nice and long over a lot of holes as well, so you couldn't see the hole.
Perfect.
A classic Euro downhill. Like, look back to days of places like Morzine and Bardonecchia and things.
I was gonna bring up Morzine. Like, was it a little bit like Morzine? Because that was the longest competition I've ever ridden.
Like the top section of Morzine there, where you're riding down the east, only chuck a good few more degrees on it. The drainages were quite an issue.
They were great fun. I enjoyed the drainage ditches.
They were probably the only thing that was slowing you down, Mark.
No, I was loving a roll. Power slide. Tumble. Power slide.
I mean, it sounds worse than it is. There were a lot of graceful riders there. Walter, there it was around there that I think you deluded me in Compiègne a little bit, but we properly started having some chats in Sonsi. But that course, all the riders there really started to get to grips with it by the end of the qualification and how to tackle this beast. And because we were all a bit worried that is it going to be, but like tumbling gracefully for the whole field or what, but people started to link turns. Utilize the terrain and work it a bit, but the bottom line is it's just a gnarly full-on downhill, and given the fact that it's an open piste, the quickest way down that hill is always going to be in a straight line. There's no doubt about that. There were no single track sections or anything like that to sort of really mix it up and make riders think about anything else other than that slope in front of them. The only addition in the second day was when they added the cat track on, and that linked the top piste to the bottom piste where the qualification had been held. Now, unfortunately, for my likings, that cat track was a little bit flat. It has to be said.
Okay.
And yeah, the way to get onto that cat track was vital in how quick your time would be. And you were entering onto it over this. Well, you were dropping off the edge of the world for a good couple of 100 meters straight down with one massive big drainage ditch through the middle of it that was forcing riders to take a left or a right line that would, ultimately define how they took the rest of that corner down onto the cat track and how much speed they had there. I was lucky enough to be blessed with the lend of a board from Chris Williamson on a brake board. I rode it without brakes as well. But yeah, I was far more competitive with a brake, and I think there are a lot of people that would have felt a lot more competitive with access to a brake. Hence the reason earlier about me saying bringing a knife to a gunfight. Now, there was no difference in classifications as there has been in previous years. A free-for-all whether you had brakes or no brakes, and like I say, that did affect the results in some way. Being a timed event, it's not so necessary that you're going to get in the way of other riders by suddenly slamming the brakes on like you would a border cross. But yeah, there were a few of the English crew. There were George Pollard there brought out a board. I brought out a board with a brake on, and we all swapped about, and everybody had a go and put a few runs in. Margot, bless her, had a go on the no snow as well. But Bish, you went solo. And Walter, did you ride with a brake on yours there?
No. I say on the qualification, I die like a man, not like a pussy, and then I cannot in the final cover the brake, and you guys,
yes,
I have the lowest time, but I like a man.
If you would have said it to me, that's why I didn't.
And I know Stephen on the board, we start and hold the brake, and all the time down in the same position, and it was it was okay. I think maybe he is so scared, then all the body to fuck off. I can't move. Also, okay, it's I don't know, but it was funny to look Stephen with the brake.
I mean, it has to be said there, Pete Tatham taking home the gold there by over 20 seconds.
24 seconds, wasn't it, in the end?
On the non-brake, which, I mean, judging by the size of the wheels that he used to do it, the big old 12 inches, there's no stopping them once they're rolling. But yeah.
Well, they're not turning either.
Retirement and smashing out a time like that, brakes or no brakes, was just incredible. Oh, Andy, look at this.
There we go. What? What?
Just phenomenal speed. Like,
Yeah.
I have over 10 minutes.
I mean, when you had this flat track section in there, I think he was average across there, late 30 mile an hour, in my Top Gear maths at the time, and which is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So well done to you, Pete. That was incredible. But
With a broken wrist.
yeah, with
Got a video of him doing that as well.
yeah.
So yeah, you can call him like dying as a pussy, but like doesn't sound like a pussy to me when he's broken his wrist. Like I think it was during practice, wasn't it? Because that was the only update I had through Facebook. Like I opened it for something else, and it's like, oh whoa, what?
Oh, here we go. There's the visual there. Oof.
Oh,
he got sucked
nice.
into the grass and just
got dragged across behind the snow cannons, didn't he, into the hay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heavy.
Yeah, he came he joined us on the pod last year, then came to the champs last year and had a bloody good time with us there, and then obviously when he heard that there was a world downhill championship,
Yeah, of course.
He had to come back out of retirement for and I do believe that was the last time that we will see Pete ever be in the competitive of any description from here on out. So well done to you, Pete. Just a quick nod to you there. But let's talk a little bit about the craziness of the no brakes crew, because Dominic, we mentioned earlier on, as an absolute animal, really turned the heat up on that day there. I mean, hats off to David and Matt and all the riders there, putting in some phenomenal times there, Till and the crew. But yeah, those top three there, David unfortunately taking a tumble and injuring himself.
You want to see that on video as well?
Yeah, I have video too. But...
on what probably would have been an acceptable, certainly trying for the top there of the break list.
He was fast at that point.
You don't. There's Dominic.
You got the angle from there. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's my angle. And boom.
Ow.
He's over to me after this, and I shall drop them in the edit in full size. But yeah, so unfortunately, David injuring himself there, just shearing off his truck.
Yeah, his truck snapped off. To be fair,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was some carnage.
There's his truck by his head.
Oh shit. That's the worst, because that's like something that you cannot prepare for. Like it's just like your legs get taken from underneath.
Yeah.
There's no way you can absorb that impact. Like you're gonna
Just ragdolled it.
Yeah,
you're gonna crash terribly. Ow.
Yeah, I was filming, and then I see she fell and start to run. So Dominic, David, you are fine. So no, Sophia, fuck, we need people to come up. And then we put it from the board. From the ambulance was there, the medics, and all the protector are down. And then I'm fine. No, sit down. It was funny, yeah, but I think only muscles, no broken.
I don't think he broke it. No, it's just bruised, sprained, whatever he's done. But yeah.
He was very lucky, really, considering that could have been a bit of a more of a nasty one.
Absolutely.
And Matt and the Russian guy go back with the seal left, and if they're good riders, say, okay, no, I go with the chair left down. So yeah,
so yeah, they did. You're right there. I think that sort of put the scares factor up a little bit to see just quite how much could potentially be on the line there at the speeds in that sort of terrain. It was fantastic to see them flying past at such a pace. I mean, I'll never forget seeing Dominic going down there just like an absolute bullet.
I was at the top of the hill watching him do that first segment, and he was just slashing the hill, like big rocks and boulders rolling down by the side of him. He was just tearing it up so well.
It'd be nice to have had a speed gun at the bottom to have slammed it on people. Pretty cool.
Didn't Matt bring one? I heard somebody like at Compiègne say something about a speed gun, but maybe it was we should have bought a speed gun, but I don't know.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Hats off to Dominic taking home the second place, but first place no breaks that in a category that didn't exist. Oh yeah,
Dominic.
I mean that.
Oh wow, yeah, that looks solid. Oh, look at him battling that.
I mean, it's a discipline in itself, and it was something that was sort of bandied around being quite an extreme slope. Is there a call for judge descents as opposed to time descents, like in a free ride at snowboard or ski? I mean, the field would be all, I should imagine.
Wow.
Chuck some slope style features in to entice the freestyle boys.
Natural selection kind of stuff.
Yeah, natural selection, rampage style things.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a lot of front flips going down that hill, but they weren't intentional.
Yeah, I saw some other people throwing Jenner flips there as well. But yeah, it was phenomenal, and hats off to Vince there and
they also must have put 200 or 300 kids through like a taster go on a mountain board over that weekend as well. Yeah. They had the freestyle showboating going down on the airbag as well. They put a lot of effort in, and it really did show. They put a phenomenal comp on at Superbest.
Yeah, I think that's part of the major reason why the track probably was on the slope that it was, because, like I say, it filtered down into the middle of town there. There are a couple of other more shallow slopes that would have enabled a far tighter grouping of racers there, in terms of tighter times, but wouldn't have had that exposure to the town. It wouldn't have had that effect. There was live music. They had trade stands there, selling key rings and stuff to the passing trade. All the bars were busy with us lot of riders and our associated entourages and stuff. It was just fantastic to see a French resort really getting behind the sport again, like back in the old days, like Morzine did back in the old days, and Bardenecchia and that. It was really fantastic. So yeah, to all the bit part players and the organisers of that event there, thank you from the bottom for a fantastic couple of days there. The food was great, the reception was great, everything was fantastic about it.
I would just say shout out to Mark Bishop for, other than the top four, being 5th in the world in the downhill.
Yeah.
Yay!
Absolutely killed it. First big downhill as well. First World Championships, riding 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, 2
years, smashing everyone out the water and taking 5th.
Yeah, man.
Well done. Well done, mate.
I
super well done.
One run on my finals.
Well, it still counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had a full-on breakdown afterwards. I was in tears. It completely broke me.
It was an emotional week, Mark.
Yeah.
Again?
It was an emotional week. You put a lot of effort in, and it was the last few days.
Yeah.
I was definitely surprised seeing you ride, and then hearing oh yeah, he's only been riding for almost 2 years. I'm like, what? You nutter.
You're like a kid who hasn't lost his fear yet. He just goes, can't hurt that.
Yeah.
See you later.
A 2:23 there for the record there, Mark. Time there.
Well done.
And like I say, Dominic rounded out we're coming second with a 2:04. David on a 2:10, Matt on a 2:16, then yourself 2:23, Andy on a 2:50. So I mean, not putting you down here, Andy, but that's almost a 30-second jump down there from you guys in that top 1, 2, 3, 4 no breaks. Quite a big leap down there to the rest of the pack. So mad props to you, brother. Mad props to you. Andy on a 2:50, myself on a 3:15 with a break. I am that pussy. But yeah.
No, you're just old, mate.
That's it. But yeah. Other times there. What a fantastic event. Walter, you had fun there.
Yeah, I had fun. I'm not in the hospital. So. Yeah. I'm the winner.
Flying out like a man. And then, the only thing left to discuss really other than the party and so, which we have already touched on, is the overall final results.
Oh, the paella was good. The paella was awesome. That's what we need to mention.
Shout out to Sarah Watson for peeling about 3,000 giant shrimp
prawns for you.
Overall, we'll run through the overall top 16 here across the 3 disciplines of boardercross, freestyle, and downhill. In first position, Matt Brind. Second, David Jontzer. Third, Cody Stewart. And fourth, Andy Brind. That is the podium.
Whoop, whoop.
Well done, that man.
Thank you.
And then finishing the top 16, Emlyn Bainbridge, Mark Bishop in 6th. Well done, brother. Florian, Connor Smout, Evgeny and Alex Lambda seeing out the top 10. Myself in 11th, Dylan Guide, George Pollard, Margot Rowland, and Ashmole Holland, with Gabriel Scandalin in 16th place. Then that leaves the Open. We'll run through them quickly. So those who didn't make the pro finals, by that point, none of that comes into play, should I add.
When the pro stays pro and then everyone else back in.
The Open there was won by Emlyn Bainbridge. Second place, Florian Lantown. Third place, Evgeny. We might as well see it out because there's not so many in here who did all 3 disciplines. The Connor Smout in George Pollard in 5th, Dylan Guy in 6th, Ashmole Holland in 7th, and Gabriel Scandalin again in the Open. Ladies was Margot Rowland, the only one to compete in all 3.
All 3.
You're an absolute legend. I hope your foot's feeling okay now. We'll wait for the update on that.
And Sonia and Manu, hope your feet are doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big player ladies are all out foot injury now. You couldn't write that up. That podium looked great with the 2 pots on their legs. Going over to the Masters. Here he is. Is us Mark Bishop in his premiere on the Alex Lambda in 2nd, the Beast. Mark Scully Sullivan in 3rd, myself in 4th, Steve Birkbeck in 5th, and 6th, Paul Sloget.
Woo!
Monsieur Sloget.
And the only junior to announce as the overall. And
no, it was fucking awesome.
Hey. But he didn't get the pro triple crown. That's still up for grabs. I'm sorry, Matt. I was really hoping that you'd smash that in the first year. It is what it is. No, you smashed it, mate. And stepped up in all of the disciplines and really proved yourself to be a top-notch mountain boarder.
He's awesome. I love Noah. We sat for hours just having a chin wag. He's great.
You can barely talk English. How do you do that?
The best thing he said to me was, Matt Brind is like a Matt Brind is like a Porsche. You ride like a tractor, and I love it.
That is such a good compliment.
Fuck me, that's profound.
I love that boy. He's great.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely one to watch as he moves up through the Open. I think he's a year or two left in the juniors, is he not?
I think he's 15. 15 or
Yeah, he's super young. He is super young.
It'll be up next year, though. Under 16s, isn't it?
How is it?
Been in the Worlds.
Can't remember.
Nah.
Full beard is all I know. It's
Yeah.
If you got full beard, you're going in the Open.
yeah.
That's the idea.
Well, yeah, that was the round out of the World Championships in terms of results. But before we look to finish up this episode, and we are winding it out now, I'm going to come round to each of you, including you, Sloggett, and ask for your most memorable moment, be it riding or not. I kind of prefer not riding. Most memorable not riding moment. But go with.
I'll go first then, can I?
Yeah, go with you first. Okay.
Non-riding was definitely the compost toilets at Compiègne.
Of course.
There.
Tell us about this compost toilet at Compiègne.
Yeah.
Well, there was a big dumpy bag, like a DIY builder's trade dumpy bag full of sawdust outside of the bins with a helmet in there. So someone decided every time a door was open, someone would get a mouthful of sawdust.
Can you remember who it was? Who decided that?
You?
No. I got with the sawdust, didn't I?
Yeah, no, that would have been me.
Yeah. Prick.
Of course it was.
But I tell you what, I was literally spitting sawdust out of my nose. It was in my ears, everywhere. But of course, it was the best thing ever, because then we're in on it now. So it's like, right, let's keep this between ourselves. How many more people can we get? And we did get a few. The next of which being Steve Birkbeck, and I'll nip him because similarly, I only have one other memory that stands out, and that's the red wine going over before we'd left the ferry port. But yeah, that
was Steve Birkbeck.
But yeah, the next person to be got was Steve Birkbeck, and as we were, I said, right, well, I've got to get this on camera because it is so good. We were stood outside waiting for him, and Ludo, the organizer and manager of Compiègne, rounded the corner. And we'd only met Ludo before that, and I thought to myself, oh no, we've been rumbled being naughty in his centre here. And he looked at us both and clocked. Must have experienced it before, because he clocked what was going on straight away. He shook his head and just went, "Les Anglais." And Karen, oh no, we've really upset now. And he went, he just went, oh, 2 moments, and went and got his phone to record us. And yeah, happily the next person out was Steve Birkbeck, and a number of other people gotten over the next couple of days. But let's go, Walter. Walter, what was your most memorable moment from the whole experience, whether it be Compiègne or the?
Yeah, in Compiègne I was sitting there drinking some beer and looked at freestyle training in the evening. So I was sitting there with flip-flops, look for some board, see Sonia boards. So also my board, I give Sonia my hero board, because hero board, it's not, the wheel's not spinning. So then helmet and protection. So okay, I go with flip-flops and the board up to the first jump and make the second jump. So that was the thing.
I like the sound of this. They did well, we'll actually be talking about it next week, but they're in I think one of the US events recently. They had a no shoe open binding class for thing.
Jesus boarding.
That's
Jesus board.
But Mark, while we're in yours, what was your standout there for the moment? I mean, obviously winning there. That
You know what, mate? Watching Sarah and watching Tyler riding border cross, that done it for me. And Tyler especially, like, love you, Sarah, but watching Tyler, it brought a tear. I was sitting there with James watching, and it brought a tear to my eye. And then numerous other tears throughout the rest of the weekend. It was awesome.
Oh.
Proud dad moments.
Oh no, do you have a moment for us?
Well, I've been trying to find one, but it was just, to be honest, and it was coming into the theater, then just like, because you guys just arrived right before us, because I'm always late. So I come in and it's like, it was like, yeah, it's gonna start. Sit down. It's like, I see you guys, and I'm like, I know this dude. Like, who is this? And I realized it was you. It's like, people like, sit down. I'm like, nope, gotta see him. So yeah, and then I wanted to go punch Steve as well, but like, yeah, Sonia pulled me down. But yeah, it was so good to see you again. Like after all those years, and then talking, like even missing each other in Courchevel. That for me, that was why I came to Compiègne, to see like all my old friends, and there were more friends from like far gone days that came up again and just sprouted the love for mountain boarding again, I guess, or like have found a place in their life where they could find some more time to ride, and decided to do that. It was so good to see you guys again. That really made my thing. And then riding wise, well, yeah, final race for me, that was, just the whole idea that like, it's also the first time that I felt that I really tried, that I really, really, in a way, like, don't want to sound cocky, but like, I feel like I've competed, not that I tried, but I feel like I've competed for once. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. General, just seeing everyone. Mountain boarding is about like riding, but mostly about the family. Yeah, I love you too, buddy.
It's so true though. It is so true. You know, like we're friends for decades now, isn't it? Really, it's so refreshing when we all get to hang out in person. Everyone else. Andy, your moment of choice, do you reckon?
Yeah, mine kind of sticks with the family theme, actually. There's in the border cross, me and Ayla are at the top, and I don't know who else saw it, but she's got a picture. There's just such a wholesome moment of all the kids, all the young ones, underneath the tent that was there, and just got a big group hug, spreading all the love before the knockouts and all the racing kicked off. And then just every time they came back up, oh, good race, man. You know, sorry you're out, but, you know, you're still really good. And all just the little kids. Just the love they had between each other, and like instantly friends, all of them. That was just really cool to see. Like I say, they've got a picture of all just in a group huddle before they all start racing. And it was just like, so sweet.
Proper sweet.
Yeah, that was nice. I really like that. And like I say, Ayla was right there next to me. She was like, look. And then she got a snap of it. So it's quite sweet now.
Oh, I'll have a look for that.
Yeah, you'll ask her for it.
Let's hope that these younger riders that we're starting to see on the hill a little bit more stick with it and turn into the next generation and keep it growing. But yeah, thank you very much for all of those thoughts there, gents. Walter, thank you for joining us for the first time.
You're welcome.
Back to you in the future, hopefully, for a little solo episode. But thank you for taking time out of your holiday to come and.
It's for mountain board. It's for the mountain board family.
Yes, exactly that.
Oh no!
Have every time.
Oh no! Thank you for giving up a part of your evening where you at the climbing wall. I hope we haven't been too disruptive to that for you, but yeah,
It was my pleasure, mate.
it's every time. It's always an absolute joy to be around you, brother. I really appreciate it, whether it be here or
Likewise.
actually in person. Andy, yeah, thank you. As per normal, you work tirelessly along with the ATBA family for us all to enjoy. Thank you.
I don't do much. I just have the van to bring the supplies.
Well,
thank you for giving up your time, especially when we're all probably absolutely hanging from the weekends that we've just had at the UK Champs. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the World Championship review show for the Dirt Podcast. And if you haven't already go and watch the live streaming of the UK Championship over on the ATBA UK the ATBA UK YouTube channel. There we go.
I prefer to call it a broadcast. It was better than just the stream. We had prompts, we had everything. It was a proper, full-on broadcast of the competition.
Short saying stream. Should I be marketing it as a broadcast?
I think so. A stream makes me think somebody just stood there with their phone filming it. Multiple cameras, angles, all the racing, all the action.
And
bibs, everything, names everywhere, professional commentary. I'd say it's a full-on broadcast.
Can I say one more thing?
You didn't need slow-mo for my racing.
Not yours are slow, but okay, slow-mo.
Before we log off, can I say one more thing? Like, I am planning to go to LA Mountainboard Park, not next weekend, but the weekend after. Would be cool to see any of you guys down there. It's a bit of a impromptu thing, but yeah, I am going on. Well, what is that then?
The 19th, 20th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 19th and 20th. I'll be at the LA Mountainboard Park, so come and ride. Come say hi, and otherwise, see you at another dirt track or in the woods somewhere. Would love to.
I'll make sure this doesn't come out on the 21st.
I was going to say, Dad's got a finger out now. Get it out there.
Yeah. Well, he said he was going to put it up straight away.
No.
So.
We're on a quick turnaround on this one, gentlemen.
Yeah.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the stoke and the support. We all really appreciate it. And it wouldn't be anything without you, the community, and the mountain board family at large. This has been the Dirt.
Thanks, gents.
That's it.
F you.
Bye.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
Way aye, man. That was dead canny as out that like. Cheers for tuning out to listen. Now, before you gan yem, don't forget, if you want to keep getting doing with the Dorty Dort fun, like and subscribe. Get amongst it. Shy Ben's getting out.